Deep beneath the windswept mesa, where terracotta cliffs stretched toward storm clouds like ancient fingers, Maya had been mining for 3 days straight. Her iron pickaxe sparked against the stone as she carved through layers of granite and diorite, following a vein of redstone that pulsed with mysterious energy. The deeper she went, the stranger the patterns became. Not the random scattered dust she was used to, but organized lines that seemed almost intentional. Maya wasn't your typical adventurer. While most players rushed toward diamond gear and nether portals, she found herself drawn to the mysteries that others overlooked. The abandoned mine shafts that stretched too far, the villages where librarians whispered about books that shouldn't exist, the caves where torches flickered without wind. As her pickaxe broke through another wall, Maya stumbled backward. Before her stretched a vast underground chamber, its ceiling lost in shadow. But what made her breath catch wasn't the size. It was the structure at its center. A massive beacon, its light pyramid incomplete, sat atop a platform of blocks she'd never seen before. They were obsidian black, but shot through with the veins of light that pulsed like a heartbeat. The beacon's beam cut through the darkness, but instead of the familiar white or colored light, this one flickered between dimensions. One moment, it showed the chamber as it was. The next, it revealed glimpses of somewhere else entirely, a world where the sky burned purple and strange towers pierced the clouds. Maya's tablet buzzed with notifications she'd never seen before. Her coordinates read as impossible numbers, her health bar flickered. Even her inventory seemed uncertain, items occasionally shifting positions when she wasn't looking directly at them. She approached the beacon cautiously, noting the spiral staircase carved into the chamber wall. Someone, or something, had built this place with purpose. As she climbed, Maya noticed the walls were covered in symbols that hurt to look at directly, as if they existed in too many dimensions at once. At the top of the platform, Maya examined the beacon more closely. Its base was constructed from those strange, pulsing blocks, but the pyramid above was incomplete. Missing blocks created gaps that leaked otherworldly light. A chest sat nearby, ancient and worn. Inside the chest, Maya found 3 items that shouldn't exist. A map with locations that shifted when she wasn't watching, a compass that pointed in 5 directions simultaneously, and a book whose pages rewrote themselves as she read. The book's current text was simple but chilling. The barriers grow thin, the last beacon fails. Soon, they will cross over. A sound echoed through the chamber. Not the familiar shuffle of zombies or hiss of creepers, but something far more alien. A harmonious discord that seemed to come from the flickering light itself. Maya looked up to see shapes moving within the beacon's beam. Silhouettes that didn't match any mob she knew. The compass in her hand spun wildly before pointing toward a corner of the chamber she hadn't explored. Following its guidance, Maya discovered a tunnel that descended at an impossible angle, as if gravity had forgotten which way was down. The strange blocks from the beacon platform lined this passage, their light providing the only illumination. As Maya descended, the world around her began to shift. The tunnel walls occasionally flickered, revealing glimpses of massive structures in that other dimension. Cities that defied geometry, inhabited by beings of pure light and shadow. The boundary between worlds was breaking down, and this beacon was somehow at the center of it. The tunnel opened into another chamber, smaller but more disturbing. Here, the beacon's twin sat dormant and cracked. Around it lay the remains of what had once been a village, but not like any village Maya had ever seen. The buildings were constructed from materials that shifted between familiar blocks and something else entirely. Villager statues stood frozen mid-motion, their emerald eyes replaced by the same pulsing light that ran through the strange blocks. Maya realized with growing horror that these weren't statues at all. They were villagers, trapped between dimensions, neither fully in her world nor the other. Their forms flickered occasionally, revealing glimpses of what they might have become in that alien realm. Tall, angular beings with too many limbs and eyes that saw through reality itself. The compass pointed deeper still, toward a third tunnel that seemed to exhale otherworldly mist. Maya hesitated. Every instinct told her to run, to seal this place and pretend she'd never found it. But the book in her inventory had updated itself again. 3 beacons anchor the barrier. 2 have failed. 1 remains, for now. In the deepest chamber, Maya found the 3rd beacon. This one still functioned properly, its normal white beam cutting through the supernatural darkness like a sword. Around its base, someone had built a fortress of bedrock and obsidian, reinforced with every protective block imaginable. Signs placed throughout the structure told a story in desperate, hurried text. A player called Technomage had discovered the dimensional breach months ago. They'd learned that the beacons weren't just light sources, they were anchors, keeping the boundaries between worlds stable. As the strange dimension pressed against reality, the beacons began to fail one by one. Technomage had reinforced this last beacon, but their final sign was ominous. I can't hold it much longer. If you find this, you have to complete the circuit. The pattern must be restored. Maya studied the fortress design, cross-referencing it with the shifting map from the first chamber. She began to understand the terrible purpose of this place. The 3 beacons formed a triangle, each one responsible for maintaining reality in its section of the world. With 2 failed, the entire dimensional barrier was collapsing. But Technomage had left more than warnings. Hidden in the fortress walls, Maya found blueprints for beacon repair and stacks of the mysterious pulsing blocks. The resource cost was enormous, more rare materials than most players saw in their entire careers, but Maya had always been thorough in her mining. Working frantically as reality continued to flicker around her, Maya began the repairs. Each block she placed seemed to push back against the dimensional intrusion. The alien harmonics grew louder, more agitated, as if the other realm sensed its invasion being thwarted. The 2nd beacon came online with a sound like reality itself, sighing in relief. The flickering villagers in the middle chamber began to solidify, their forms settling back into familiar shapes. But the job wasn't finished. At the first beacon, Maya made the final repairs. As the last pulsing block clicked into place, the pyramid completed itself in a flash of interdimensional light. The beacon's beam stabilized, returning to its proper white glow. The alien sounds faded, replaced by the comforting silence of deep earth. Maya's tablet stopped glitching. Her coordinates made sense again. The book in her inventory now showed only blank pages, as if the dimensional crisis had never existed. But Maya knew better. Somewhere in the depths of her world, ancient forces still pressed against the barriers, held back only by 3 beacons and the vigilance of players who understood that some mysteries were meant to remain unsolved. As she climbed back toward the surface, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The map she'd found hadn't disappeared. It simply showed different locations now. Other dimensional weak points. Other beacons that might need repair. Maya smiled grimly as she emerged into the desert dawn. She'd always been drawn to the mysteries others overlooked, and it seemed the mysteries were just getting started.